I asked investigative journalist John Grobler and socio-political commentator Vitalio Angula to share their hopes for the country for 2020.
There's a real sense of, a Namibian people finding its voice now, as we saw in the election results. And I think we are now discovering that we have much more in common with each other than the differences that are posed from the past or whatever future we may have. What I hope will happen is that all Namibians from all walks of life all become more politically involved. There has been, for the past 30 years, sort of a laissez-faire attitude. Oh, well, they're going to win, nobody cares. But this time we all, wanted to impose a specific choice on them, and it was neglected, it was ignored. So we have to stand together as a people against a ruling party that is not willing to let go of power, because we're seeing the same scenario play itself out now as we saw in Zimbabwe. So we have to decide whether we're going to go the Zimbabwean way or whether we're going to find a political alternative that works for all of us, not just the elite. And that is going to be the biggest challenge. But I think we kind of overcame that challenge already with the last election. There is definitely a sense of common purpose. The fact that we had the first ever march against corruption 3 weeks ago, and we have another one going on now. We all know that now I think that the single biggest cause of poverty in this country is corruption, and our fundamental problem remains one of poverty, structural poverty. But until we can impose our will as voters, as the people of Namibia, on the political dispensation, we are not going where we should be. We have to reorganize ourselves. And I think what should happen is that there should be a national, non-partisan Indaba. We all come together and we discuss what to do about the current situation, because we are heading for a constitutional crisis. And if we have a real crisis and the constitution suddenly gets suspended by the president because it's all becoming politically unstable, then we will never get back from that to a real democracy.
2020, I just want to see more civic engagement, citizens on a personal level demanding accountability. With the emergence of the independent candidates going into the 2020 local authority, local council elections, I've seen a lot of independent candidates emerging. People are not anymore afraid to stand as individuals. People are not afraid to mobilize. Obviously, there are consequences, the economical consequences. Obviously, you know what happened to me at Nampa. It's an economic consequence of speaking out. But as long as people are speaking out and speaking truth to power, I think our nation is going to see a lot more good coming out. We have a government that lacks now the moral authority. So it's us as individuals to take it back. Because even on the international landscape, the whole world is laughing at us. When we go to the United Nations, when we give speeches, when our president gives speeches, people are going to say, this is the corrupt people and he's here speaking. From what basis are you speaking? So we need to take back that moral authority as people, as citizens of the globe, as citizens of Africa, because this continent belongs to us, the world belongs to us. And we see also a leadership that is aging and gradually moving out. And we want to make sure that they are not replaced by equally corrupt youth. Yes, the people are saying the youth must come in, but are the youth ready? Do they have the moral fortitude to take this country forward? Do they have the character to take this country forward? So even going into the 2020 elections, we should not only vote for people just because they are youth. No, it's somebody who stands for the interests of the community, somebody who is willing to make the required sacrifices, somebody with a moral fortitude to stand as a counselor and do what is correct. We still have a lot of problems. Decent shelter is a problem. Lack of access to housing is still a problem for the majority of youth in the informal settlements, a lack of access to water, lack of access to decent sanitation, hepatitis E. I always maintain that hepatitis E is a man-made dilemma because we didn't have it all these years. Where does it come from? It comes from people living in dirt and filth and squalor. And we have to do something about this. And it is our own citizen agency, it is our own political agency which is going to make a difference in this world. And we can no longer abdicate our power to the ruling party because they are the liberators, so they can lead us without question. We have to question, and when we are not getting the required questions, we have to be able to push people over and say, okay, now give me a chance to lead because you're not making a very good job of leading. So that is the one highlight I'm looking forward to in 2020, the regional local government elections.